Hello, everyone. It's me, Jacob, here with my new series, Baking with Benbow. And today, due to the possibility that it might be National Bread Day, we are going to be making some bread. And the first step to making bread is you're going to want to get some flour. Oh, wait. I don't want to sponsor this on accident. This ain't the best flour. No, so when you want to get some flour, just get some flour. See, now that should be enough flour. And if there's clumps in your flour, which because I bought this at a bargain store where like stuff is cheap and shit, there's a lot of clumps in it. You're gonna want to like get them clumps out. And what you're gonna want to do at this point is like get your flour into the center of the bowl, make a little well for it, so we can put the water in there. Now with the water, you're gonna want to make sure that it's warm water, because if it's cold, that's not going to do, it's going to stick. And if it's warm, like, it'll be good. So let me get some water. I'm not, like, you know how to get water, so I'm not going to show you how to do that. Alright, so I got some water, and we're going to apply the water to the little, like, dent we made in the center of the flour. Oh, shit. We're going to apply the water to the little dent we made in the center of the well. And not all of your water, just some of it. And then take your fingers and start mixing it around. And this is a very simple recipe. It's been passed down through the Benbow clan from Benbow to Benbow, starting with me. And if I ever eventually have offspring, I will one day teach it to them. And now all of you know how to make Benbow bread. And then you're gonna wanna Okay. You're gonna put the bread back into the bowl and off of your fingers. And then just keep working it into a mass of dough. And a good way to do this is to just do it. I'm not a teacher. You're just gonna have to learn by seeing me do it, because I make the best bread. A little behind the scenes fact: the bread you see that we get from the wild, it's actually not wild bush bread. It's all bread that I got, the one from the dumpster. I actually had that in my hand when I put it in the dumpster. If you've watched the DIY series, I'd highly recommend it. The third installment is about to come out, and it is riveting, if I will tell you that. And now that you got your dough, you're going to want to like get it into a ball shape. And for this recipe, you can modify the amounts, like multiply. I'll put them up on screen during like the times I say them, so you'll see. And now you got your dough like this. Fuck. Okay, I made way too little. I'm not going to be able to make a loaf of bread out of this. So what we're going to do is we're going to add some more flour. And I'll put the measurements right over here somewhere. Okay. And you're just going to want to mix that in until it don't want to mix in anymore. And then you put more water in. And so the measurement for the water will be some water. Oh, that made a weird sound. Wonder if my mic picks that up. We'll see. Post-edit, me and you making bread together. You're just gonna want to do the same thing. Fuck. I should have added oil. Shit. Alright, if you happen not... Okay. I think I have oil. I'll be back. Okay. So I have oil. So add some oil. And then mix that in with it. And this is what the oil will do. It should make it less sticky. And I need some more flour. Shit. Okay, just add some more flour. Measurements will be on the screen. And you just want to get this shit off your hands as best you can. Like that. See? Like dust up your other hand with some not dough flour. And get back to it. See, now we have a lot more mass to work with. I can make a little loaf out of this for you guys. And get that oil off screen so it's not just bugging you guys. Completely off screen. Oh, look, the screen moved. Okay, so now that you got the bread all how you want it. Oh, fuck. I didn't add any yeast to this. I was going to add yeast to this so it actually rises. Alright, so once you've realized your mistakes, you're going to want to get your yeast and put it into some warm water. I just did the same thing I did last time. With like putting warm water in this, and then instead of just leaving it as warm water, I put yeast in it. And the measurement for some yeast will be right here. You're just going to add that to your bread. And fuck, okay, I should have added some flour too because it's wet. And see, we're just going to have even more bread by the end of this. And then keep adding your yeast water until you have a good amount of that mixed in and the dough is like nice and hydrated. Then at that point we're going to add some more flour because I added way too much water. Full disclaimer, I'm not a professional breadologist. I've never practiced in the state of California legally, and I do not plan to sell my bread to anybody due to the chance of tainted bread. And then see, now that we got this dough going, it's time to let this bad boy proof. So I'll be back with you once this is good and risen. And I'm just going to throw that back into this bowl. Alright, so now that you have allowed your bread to rise to whatever like amount you want, carefully remove it from your bowl. Shit, hold on. Carefully take your olive oil or whatever oil you choose to use and lightly pour some onto the pan that you are going to bake your bread on. And then like you could take a paper towel and like spread it around, but I ain't got that, so I'm just going to do this. And like just move the oil around itself to cover the pan. Alright, now that the bread is ready to be placed on the pan, take your hand, if you don't mind getting a little messy, and get some of that oil on your hand first and make sure it's nice and spread around and not too much where you're going to place your bread. Then place your bread down lightly. And now this is an optional step, but I'm going to choose to do it. And since I can't find a knife at the moment, we're going to use a spoon for this back end. You're just going to want to lightly score your bread with your spoon. Oh shit, that's deepest. You're going to lightly score your bread with the spoon. And make sure it's all like nice and shaped and get some of that oil on it. You want that oil on the bread so it gets nice and crispy. You see? Bread. And now it's not edible yet. There's one final step. You gotta bake it. So we'll be back once this bread is baked. I forgot to mention, preheat your oven to like 4 something, and that'll be enough to heat the bread to cook it and such. So there you have it, folks. Fresh bread. And wasn't even that hard to make and didn't take that many ingredients. You see, if we just crack it open, it's perfectly done inside. You don't have to see it. Alright, thank you for watching Baking with Benbow. I would taste the bread, but it's so perfectly cooked that I don't have to. Alright, join me next time when I bake something else. This is a horrible idea.